Finding the perfect developer isn't easy. But at Upwork, we found her. She's in Prague, between the ideal cup of coffee and a truly impressive synthesizer collection. And you can find her right now on Upwork.com. When the world is your workforce, finding the perfect project manager, designer, developer, or whomever you may need tends to fall right into place. Find top-rated talent who can start today on Upwork.com.
The following is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
This is John Silver, lead recruiter of the Dark Order, and you are listening to All Things Elite.
Everybody, welcome to the 159th episode of Social Suplex's podcast about AEW with a proclivity for positivity. Welcome to All Things Elite. My name is Austin Sumwitz, and I am the host of this lovely show. Joining with me, as always, is my good buddy and friend, Floyd Johnson Jr. My man, how you doing?
I am doing great. Just come back from the Celebrity Fan Fest. It's called the Superhero Comic-Con and Car Show in San Antonio, Texas this weekend. And for the first time, I got to knock off someone off my list, Mr. Dave Bautista. Maybe shocking to find out. There's a few wrestlers I haven't met, and he's one of the few left that I had to meet. So, got to meet Mr. Bautista. He was very, very nice and engaging. Told me about a buddy cop movie that he's shooting with Jason Momoa that's going to start next year. That was fun. That's the wrestling related one. And then I got to also meet Simu Lee. He played Shang-Chi in Marvel. I got to meet Ewan McGregor, Mr. Obi-Wan Kenobi. That was the reason for the trip. And I got to take Tiffany, my friend Star Wars Tiffany. Some might know her as All Elite Tiffany once upon a time, or the biggest Cody fan on earth Tiffany. Well, she's also a passionate Star Wars fan. And I was finding out, like, when I met her, that, she's done a lot of wrestling stuff, but she had never really met any Star Wars people. Like any, and like Darth Maul was in my, just in my town, and I went and got a pop for her signed, and that was her first pop, right? So yeah, Tiffany can say her first Star Wars person that she met, got a picture with, was Obi-Wan Kenobi, a.k.a. Ewan McGregor, who's also one of her favorite actors. He was one of her favorite actors before she even did Star Wars. So the fact that I got to make that happen, that was kind of cool. She made a video about it. If you want to follow her at Star Wars Tiffany on Twitter, you could watch her YouTube video about her meeting Ewan McGregor. She's so much more passionate about the moment than I could ever be or convey. But it was cool to see the smile on her face, tears in her eyes. She was happy that she got to meet Ewan. That's why I do things for people, because I like that. From friends, some of you may hate it, some of you may watch it, but there was this one episode where Joey says there's no such thing as a selfless good deed. You get something out of it. And I'm like, I absolutely agree with that statement, because I did that for my friend, But what I got out of it is the smile on her face, the joy that it brought her. That made me happy. And, I got some of the joy from being able to do that, being able to be the reason that happened. So,
yeah,
I definitely understand that. So that was really cool. Met Brandon Ruth, who was Superman in Superman Returns. He was also the Atom on CW shows. And if I had to say my number one fandom, it would be CW superhero shows. I'm talking about the Arrowverse. So for some of you, Arrow, Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, I like to meet everybody, as many people as I can from the shows that I can, and get pictures with them and get them to sign pops, because that's what I love. So I got to meet him, and I think that was it. I'm like, was that it? Was that all 5 people? Do you know?
I think so.
I think that was it. It's supposed to be 5 people. I got a lot of pops signed. Haley Atwell. I forgot her.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, Agent Carter, Captain Carter. So I was able to get 2 Batista pop signed. So I got a Batista pop and a Drax pop signed. Then I got Captain Carter and Agent Carter signed by Haley Atwell. I got the Atom signed by Brandon Ruth, Ralph, I believe. I don't know. I've never understood how you pronounce it. Then Shang-Chi, he of course signed, and then Obi-Wan Kenobi. And they all look really, really good. I got them posted up in my room, so I'm very excited about that. But the weekend was, the whole reason was Ewan, and then I was so excited when they announced Batista, because, again, I'd probably say there's about 15, maybe 20 wrestlers I've still yet to meet in any way, and Batista was one of them. And I'm going to tell you, you get rewarded, because WrestleMania 30, the night after, after WrestleMania 30. So we're walking home, and, we had drank a little bit, had a little food, all that good stuff. And we were walking down in New Orleans. It wasn't Bourbon Street. It was like a street next to Bourbon Street, because we were just getting back to our room, and we saw Batista with a bunch of people, right? And in that moment, I could have rushed him. Oh, man, I could have got a picture. But I'm like, dude, that dude just worked. He was just in matches all the night. He just put somebody over. He looks like he's with his friends. And I said, you know what? I'll meet him another time. And I kept walking, right? That's always been kind of my thing. I try not to bother people, but in that moment, I hadn't bothered them. And I hadn't met him, like we were never in the same room or whatever. I was like, God dang it. And it's just like, it'll eventually happen. Well, in this case, how perfect can it be? I'm already going to the show. I'm taking my friend to see Ewan McGregor. I'm very happy about that. And then Dave Bautista gets put in the spot where I get to meet him. It's like, I'm not going to say it's like fate, but it was like, it was going to happen. Sometimes you have to just let things happen. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's definitely, that's awesome. And how everything like that worked out. But yeah, huge weekend for Floyd, of course, but we've got a lot to talk about from the week in AEW. Of course, we're heading into Quake on the Lake when you guys hear this, or Quake by the Lake. And then we had a busy week last week with Battle of the Belts 3 taking place in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Shout out. So we got a lot to talk about, but before we get into everything, we got to make sure you guys are downloading this fine show on Google or Apple Podcasts. And if you listen to us on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasting preference, please give us a share with your friends, family, coworkers, whoever you wish. It really means the world to us. You can also leave a rating and a review to let us know how we are doing. But the easiest way for you guys to support us, if you don't want to go through that whole shebang, is to follow us on Twitter. We are at ATElitePod on Twitter. At Social Suplex are the guys who make this show possible. And they've got a bunch of other shows they got on their network. Check those out. You won't be disappointed. I am at Austin Sumowitz, SZUMOWICZ. And Floyd is at Floyd Johnson Jr. on Twitter. And the big news of the week is the fact that Quake by the Lake is coming very, very shortly. But also we got confirmation, because last week's episode we were talking about the AEW video game reports that were coming out. And we have official reports from the AEW video game Fight Forever. We now know that the cover art that was going around is the final cover art, is what they have been using in the announcement trailers and in the promotion. We know confirmation that it will be on next gen and current consoles, including the Switch and PC. And we also know about the match features and all the other stuff that was included in the video game. I can straight up say we now have mixed wrestling matches. So for the first time, I think in a wrestling game in a very long time, if ever, intergender wrestling will be a thing, and the exploding barbed wire death match and unsanctioned lights out match is a thing that you can do. There will be a career mode, and there's a ton of stuff that they were showcasing in the game, including mini games, which was really interesting. Like straight up, like looks like they had a mode that was like Penta says, where like Penta does like button combinations that you got to repeat, and then when you're at the Jacksonville Jaguars stadium and you're hitting wrestlers in baseballs, it was really odd. And I mean, you know what, if you give me good mini games to go with my wrestling game, I'll take it. But like at the end of the day, the people that are like going after the mini games, like, this is a wrestling game at the end of the day. If the mini games suck, I really don't care. I just want the wrestling to be good in the game, because that's really, if you're making No Mercy-esque wrestling, I want it to feel like No Mercy-esque wrestling. But Floyd, from you seeing the trailers and the gameplay and everything like that, like you being the non-gamer that you are, how'd you think it looked?
It looked great. Super excited about it. I went ahead and pre-ordered it at the time that it was released. I'm waiting for it to come out. I mean, it would have had to been absolute dog shit probably for me not to order it. No, I thought it looked really good. This is their first time out. This is, Ukes and THQ's like foray back into wrestling, and people are like, well, they got the same people. I'm like, they have some of the same people,
Some.
Usually when like a company stops making a game, a lot of those people go to wherever the next person are, or go work for different places. So there's no way for you to know that they got everybody. But the game mechanics are gonna be great. It's got Cody in it. What else can you say? Cody's actually in the game. I'm really looking forward to it. And I plan on breaking down and talking about the game as it comes closer. We're going to, on this show, 100%, we're going to get at least one copy away. I have been debating on doing more, but we're going to at least give one pre-order copy away on the show. Me and Austin will figure out how we plan to give that copy away to one of our lucky listeners. I can't be more excited about anything. And as much money as they put in this game, the final product is going to be great. And it's made by gamers. That's the whole thing. It's made by gamers. And I think you can tell that with the mini games. You know what I mean? Like, I don't remember any wrestling games really having mini games inside of it. That's a gamer's touch.
The one thing I would say, like the only mini game-esque thing I would think of is like the mini modes, like when they used that old beat the streak mode and what was it, 2K15 I think it was, or 2K14. I fucking loved that mode, and I wish that they kept using it, because honestly, it was a lot of fun. And then when they did the $1 Million Tower in 2K19, I thought that was great too. That was a blast, just trying to get through that and beating it. So I like the mini modes and stuff like that. Like, mini games is going to be really interesting, because like I said, like when I think mini games, I think Mario Party. And if you're giving me like Mario Party-esque shit with my wrestlers, like that's a cool idea. I just want to see like how you executed it, especially with the same engine that you're building your wrestling game around.
Yeah, and that's what I'm like. And I just want it to be like, let's say I don't care about mini games, that I can just go on and play wrestling and not even
exactly.
Because I'm a wrestler. I love wrestling video games. That's what I love. So it's like, I'm not trying to, I'm just gonna do my thing and just do my gamer thing and not worry about much else. So I'm really, like I said, I'm really excited. I was going to be really excited. It's been a long time coming. We've been talking about this game for a while, and the fact that you talk about Aubrey working on it, Cody working on it, Kenny working on it. So I'm excited it's coming.
Same, yeah. I will probably have it pre-ordered once I eventually bite the bullet and get an Xbox Series X to replace my dog shit Xbox One, because I have been meaning to get rid of that thing very, very quickly, honestly.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm PS5. What, day one?
I can't find that thing
Day
still,
one
so
is?
I can still get it. I can go onto Walmart.com right now and get a Series X. I can't do that with a PS5, and at the end of the day, the fucking, what's it called? Exclusives aren't enough for me to switch over. Plus, I got my PS4 like less than 2 years ago.
Last year, around this time, I believe, or was it? Yeah, last year around this time, they're like, oh yeah, by Christmas you'll just be able to go in the store and get a PS5.
Nope.
It is almost a year later. You still can't go in the store and get a PS5 because people are buying them and then trying to sell them for twice as much online. So it's like, and PlayStation is doing everything they can to
Almost a year. It's almost been 2 years.
Yeah. PlayStation's been doing everything they can to try to keep people from doing that. But there's only a certain amount you can do. So, if you own a PlayStation 5, most of them are being sold in bundles now. And it's like, you got to buy $700. You got to get all these accessories and probably games you don't want just to get a PlayStation 5. So,
which, no, because again, like I said, I got my Xbox One around like within the first year of the console being around. So this thing is older than dirt. And so I've been meaning to get rid of it because it's worthless. And plus, I can still use all my controllers. Like, my controllers still work for the Series X. That's the best part about it. So I don't have to replace controllers. All my games are back. Like, it works. It fits way more for what I need, honestly.
Absolutely. So I'm glad. I'm glad that you have what you need. Madden is the game on next game.
I know.
It comes out next Monday. It comes out next. Well, it comes out Monday at 11 p.m. Eastern if you get the stupid, hey, I need this one. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, like NBA 2K is with their $150 version.
Yes. I got the super version, so I could play it on Tuesday night because, I got to take the Detroit Lions to the Super Bowl. So.
Do it. Have fucking Aiden Hutchinson eat motherfuckers while singing Billie Jean.
Yes. So that's I love the young talent you had on it. I mean, like, people were like, can they be the next Cincinnati Bengals? And I'm like,
oh yeah.
Sure. I'm like, sure.
We might need to figure out a quarterback situation, but I would like to see what Goff does. But regardless, we're getting very much off track here. I feel like
we talked about games,
Yeah, we were talking about AEW video games, and then we got into Madden. I'm just like, all right, hang on.
All right.
But let's get into AEW Dynamite taking place from Columbus, Ohio, in the Ohio State fucking bullshit ass basketball court fucking shithole. We opened up with Jay Lethal going one-on-one with freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy, and we had Satnam Singh and Sanjay Dutt at ringside. There was a great work of constantly working at the leg of Orange Cassidy in this match. He was selling it really well. I loved how Orange was being his typical snark, not snark, but like when he was in the corner and he was posing like on the side. I loved that. Jay was really working the leg and working hard on like bringing him down to the point where he couldn't get up to do the orange punch. He was able to hit him with the beach break, but it wouldn't be enough. And regardless, after he couldn't hit the beach break, he went for the orange punch, dodged it, and then Lethal proceeded to just kick Orange's leg as he was coming down from it. And then that's when he was able to hit the lethal injection. You're not kicking out of that. And Orange Cassidy takes the loss. Jay Lethal gets the big win, and that's when Sanjay Dutt and them come in, celebrate, and they're beating up on him. And then they come after Wardlow since he got in our business on Rampage during Fight for the Fallen weekend. And moving from that point, he was like, listen, if you're listening, you might want to come out because I'm going to put the figure 4 on Orange Cassidy and break your new friend's leg. TNT champion Wardlow comes out, and they announced Battle of the Belts 3, put that title on the line, and Wardlow says, Columbus, welcome to Wardlow's world. And I don't care what time, what city. The end is that Wardlow's going to whoop you.
And Wardlow is from Ohio. So yeah, he's Ohio's very own Wardlow, the War Dog. And I was a very good challenger for, I know he's not the first challenger, but that's a very good challenger for Wardlow.
Yeah.
And I like how Jay Lethal's being used. I like how Satnam Singh is being used. I think that little group has been perfectly booked for what Jay Lethal and what it brings to it. And I think they've, kept Satnam Singh very safe. And I like that.
Yeah, no, I think they've done a good job with him so far as TNT champion.
And Orange Cassidy puts on, another great match.
That's nothing. That's nothing out of the ordinary for him.
Like, dude, if you're gonna do, I would love, like, at the end of the year, we might have to. I don't want to do like a full-blown award show, but I would love to do an AEW MVP, and I think Orange Cassidy should get a lot of votes because
he would get a lot, I bet.
Because you put him in any position and he delivers. You put him in any opponent. Any style of match, Orange Cassidy delivers every time.
Yeah, I love that too. I love that he's so reliable in that regard. But yeah, no, I think this was a good match announcement for Battle of the Belts. And we moved on to the return of the Undisputed Elite. We had Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, and the Young Bucks come out. And Adam Cole was feeling so good to be back in the ring. Said he was very happy that he was back in the ring with his friends. But unfortunately, he's still not medically cleared. But he was thinking about a lot over the time he was resting and nursing his injury. He's like, things we could work on and stuff like that. He's like, it's not just great leadership that makes a faction. It's chemistry. We have that in spade, but it's also talent. And most importantly, it's loyalty. Fighting alongside your brothers no matter what. And we have that too, because I came to AEW because of the Young Bucks, and I've traveled around the globe with Kyle and Bobby. Loyalty is everything. And then he's like, which brings us to this Trios Championship tournament. And he said, Matt, Nick, there was nothing I would love more than for the Undisputed Elite to be the winners of this tournament. But if I'm not medically cleared and Kyle's not medically cleared, Bucks, if you're not choosing Bobby to be your partner, you guys can't do the tournament. And he's like, sorry, I'm not using my words correctly. What I meant to say was, you won't be physically capable of competing in this tournament. And then that's when Red Dragon goes after the Young Bucks, and they start beating him down. Cole super kicks one of the Bucks, and they cut to the crowd, and this kid is in fucking agony watching this. He is distraught. And I saw that, and I was like, oh my God, they got him so good. And they were about to have Matt Jackson get hit with a steel chair, and he was going to go, Adam was going to jump off of the top turnbuckle to hit him on the chair, and Hangman Adam Page comes off, and he chases him off with a metal pipe, and turning around to his head, he sees Matt Jackson and Nick Jackson, and Hangman's looking, and he offers his hand to Matt, and Matt shakes his hand. They walk away, and then people are like, are the Elite back? Are the Hung Bucks back? Is this who we may be seeing going forward in that Trios tournament? And this was an awesome segment. Like, got people completely off guard. No one saw it coming. I thought it was an outstanding moment. Yeah, that kid crying, man. I saw that and I was just like, oh, we got a good one here. Like, we got this kid good, and like the crowd got hands on their heads. I loved it. I was loving the reactions to it. And Adam was screaming at the Young Bucks, you don't think I forgot? And I'm just like, oh my God, he remembered the Poison Monster. I'm like, we're going all the way back to being the Elite. Like, oh, let's fucking go. I was like, I knew there was no way that he didn't remember being killed by them. I was like, I knew it. I fucking knew it.
That was an awesome segment. The highlight of the segment in my world is the stylishness of that man that we call Hangman in the butterfly jeans.
Yeah.
Like, he had butterflies all over his jeans. How confident How masculine do you have to be able to come down to the ring and be ready to beat someone up with a pipe with butterflies on your jeans? Come on, man. That's confidence right there. Like butterflies. No, but Adam Cole turning on you is pretty much like grass being green and, the sky being blue and you needing air to breathe. Adam Cole's going to eventually beat you up. That's just what he does. He beat the Young Bucks up. We all felt like the Elite versus the Undisputed Elite was a thing that we were going to get, and hopefully we can get that sooner rather than later. Unfortunately, Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly are not cleared, so we're not going to get that 6-man at All Out. But if they are in the 6-man tournament, I'm pretty sure they're going to be there, and I'm looking forward to it because, the Hung Bucks. It's the Hung Bucks. That's what they are. No, I am very excited for what this means because as fun as it was for the Young Bucks and Adam Cole and all of them getting along, I think it's going to be way more funner. Yep, I'm going to use the word funner because that's how fun it's going to be to watch the Elite versus the Undisputed Elite trying to beat the shit out of each other, probably for the next 3 months. You know what? I can see it ending in a stadium stampede. I don't care. I'm excited. Let's go. Let's go.
I'm jacked about this, dude, and especially because I know this trios tournament is going to be outstanding, and I'm so gassed about it. We moved on with a backstage interview with the interim AEW World Champion Jon Moxley, with him talking about, I really don't care who wins tonight in the main event between Jericho and Wheeler Yuta. It's like, it's not a stock answer. I don't care. It's like, when that bell rings, I have no respect for nobody. He's like, when I get in the ring, I'm trying to hurt you. I won't stop until someone goes to the hospital, even if it's me. And it's like, listen, when the BCC is all said and done, we're going to make the Heart Dungeon look like a daycare. And he's like, whoever wins tonight, they better be ready to step in the ring with me. And when they do, this ain't a game. I was like, hell of a segment. Loved it. And the use of the Heart Dungeon reference again, it's like, well, I wonder who's winning this match.
Yeah. I mean, Mox is straightforward, and Mox he's what's good for the world title. He, to me, is how you book a face champion.
Absolutely.
He is just like, I don't care who it is. I don't care what it was. I am going to fight you. I might lose. But guess what? You are going to feel the pain because you have to fight me. And it's going to take a lot to beat me. And I love that about Mox. I love his promos. They're predictable, but he delivers them in such a way that no one else could do Mox promos the way Mox does his promos.
Oh, yeah. No one could do it like him. We then had Christian Cage almost get run over by Jungle Boy in an SUV. So that was a thing. And he wasn't scheduled to be there. So there was, again, Jungle Boy wants to get his hands on Christian. Kept that going for like a nice little backstage thing. I like that they used it without using like another like long outlandish thing. It's cool to just have like little bits and pieces like to keep these things like in people's minds. And then we moved on to the women's tag match between Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter versus Thunderstorm with women's champion Thunder Rosa and Toni Storm. Love that these girls got to go on like earlier in the show, honestly. I liked how they didn't like set it up just to be the penultimate match to the main event. Crowd got really into this match when they were going back and forth. And they were just consistently like jumping off and hitting DDTs, and Jamie Hayter was getting involved and getting a ton of things to do as well. Crowd was really digging this one, so I was very happy to see that. Toni Storm tried to go through and hit Baker, but Thunder Rosa was pulled down, and then Toni Storm accidentally goes into Thunder Rosa. Jamie Hayter quickly goes in on Toni Storm and gets the pinfall. Huge win for her, and then it would also build to her getting the women's championship match on Battle of the Belts 3 against Thunder Rosa. So Jamie Hayter getting a ton of use, and I would love seeing it because I think she's really good, and I think she's got a lot to offer. It's good, just nice to see some of someone relate like working with Britt Baker, getting stuff to do too, besides just being a valet for Britt Baker. So I thought that was cool.
Yes. So this match, I have given a shit to Mr. TK for placement of women's matches. This was the perfect place for this match. It allowed it to get to make the most of the crowd being highlighted, and everybody was into Britt, everybody was into Jamie, Thunder, and Tony. It was just a very exciting match where it just felt like the crowd was into it. They actually did work a pace that was more the AEW style, and I think all of that came together to make a really good match, and I just loved how much energy and noise was coming from the crowd, because that's the kind of support that you got to give the women and women's wrestling on these shows. You got to make noise for them, but as you can help them by putting them in a good spot, and this was a good spot.
Yeah, it was a great position for the girls. My mic is just being ridiculous. It was a great position for the girls to really get the chance to shine. They got to work a lot faster and got to move and let things grow a lot more, and the crowd really got to be invested in everything. Loved it. Every girl shined in that match. We had a little video package about Sammy Guevara and Ty Conti and how they are officially in Paris and they are getting married. And the Instagram pictures are all over. If you didn't notice them, they were blasted all over social media. Can you believe it? And then Eddie Kingston's like, why don't I get TV time? Like these two are getting their video package and all this shit. And I can't get in the ring and do a promo, or what the fuck's going on? He's just like, Sammy, congratulations. Nobody cares. And you have a receipt coming for you. So sign the contract for the match. I'll see you at the pay-per-view. So Sammy Guevara and Eddie Kingston is being pushed for All Out, and that will be a match that I think is just going to be pretty fucking violent, because Eddie's going to want to fucking throw haymakers, and then Sammy's going to do some crazy jump off shit and probably almost kill himself in the process. But you know what? It'll be a crazy good match. But no, in all seriousness, I think these two have the chance to be a really underbooked, but shining match on that card that we've seen, at least from the stuff that's been announced for All Out going forward.
So, Eddie has been used in a lot of different positions in this company. I think this position is to help Sammy kind of get back over. Because Sammy was over, and then the whole Ty thing happened, and it seemed like that hurt him. So I think this is going to get Sammy in a position to get back over again. Eddie, again, when you look at it, no one cuts a promo like him. No one makes you care like him. No one makes you feel as intense as he does. No one can sell a fight like Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston's going to mess Sammy Guevara up. That's what I'm like. Sammy Guevara might win, but Eddie Kingston's going to mess him up. And no, Eddie Kingston doesn't care about it. He doesn't care about weddings. He doesn't care about the sports entertainment stuff. He doesn't care about advertising. He cares about fighting, and I love it. Also, shout out to Sammy and Ty. All the wedding pics and the videos and everybody dancing. Looks like everybody had a good time in celebrating their love. So congrats to the couple. And you know what your wedding gift is from Tony Khan? You get to fight the craziest guy on the roster. Yeah.
Congrats.
Because no one puts on a 10-minute match like Eddie Kingston, because it's the most physical 10-minute match you've ever seen. So I'm really looking forward to Eddie and Sammy, because their styles are so different. I mean, we're going to break it down as we get closer to All Out. But, man, just a pre-breakdown, yeah, stylistically, this should be fun.
Oh, absolutely. And in the sense of, Sammy getting back over, I think it more so will just get Sammy, more time, too. Because, again, like I said, Sammy's a better heel than he is a face at this point in time. And I think just working against one of the most beloved baby faces in Eddie, he's going to have so much to work off of, I feel like, in this match. So Sammy, I think, can really do a lot to shine in this feud. So I'm excited for it. We had a quick little mention from the broadcast booth about what happened with Team Taz with the Powerhouse Hobbs turn. And before Hobbs had his match against Ren Jones, Taz straight up said, like, I have not had contact with these guys. They don't, nobody's been, like, the communication's not there. He's like, listen, Team Taz is no more. Like, I wish nothing but the best for all three of those guys. But at this point right now, like, I got no control over these guys. They're going to do what they want to do. That's cool. But, like, Team Taz isn't a thing. Which, yeah, pretty much you got that inclination once Ricky got his shit rocked by Powerhouse Hobbs. So we moved into the Ren Jones and Powerhouse Hobbs match. Hobbs got the quick win. Starks flew into the ring flew so fast, cameraman couldn't keep up with him. And he starts brawling with Hobbs, and then he gets hit with a vicious spine buster, and then Hobbs just like, fuck out of here, and then just gets out of the ring. So Ricky wants to get revenge, got slammed. He's going to have to try a different tactic this time around. So, yeah, this was what it was.
I love the Team Taz thing. I love that he ended Team Taz. They didn't just go away. Taz addressed it. It's over. We're not doing this anymore. You know, everybody's individual. Even my son's not Team Taz anymore.
No,
Team
yeah.
Taz is just done. It was always kind of convoluted with him being the main color guy and having a faction. So
yes.
Now we got more of a separation of, you know, the church and state kind of thing, and then he can just be like calling it down the middle. He has love for Ricky. He has love for Will. Of course, he has love for his son. But yeah, it's just gonna be like he's gonna let these grown men handle their shit. And he's gonna step away and let them handle their shit. So that was cool. And then Will Hobbs, he's as physically impressive as he's ever been. I feel like his presentation, and over the last few months, his presentation, he gets the gimmick. He get what it is. He's like this aggressive, just mean dude. And him and Ricky Starks are going to be a perfect type of, violence. Because wrestling is better when it's personal. And we've had them together over a year, going for tag team titles. Will's always had Ricky's back. Ricky's always had Will's back. And now Will's out on his own. Big old dude, just messing people up. I got a feeling, I'm just going to say this. We've seen Stokely give his card to two people. I think Will Hobbs might be the next person to get Stokely's card.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be a thing for sure. We then had Darby Allin teasing the coffin match against Brody King at Quake by the Lake, and he's tattooing his hand with Brody King, like your coffin will be made or something along the lines of that. And he straight up was just like, Brody, you asked for this match. And yeah, like that little moment I think was a cool little backstage segment. I'm surprised we haven't seen more of those, honestly, from Darby. I mean, he used to do them all the time, and like we just kind of saw less and less and less of them, which, I mean, that's kind of how Darby got his character like really over. So I would have thought you would have kept that part of him, but regardless, it was nice to see it back. But yeah, that teased the coffin match.
This was really cool. This was Darby. In essence, this is, when you think of wrestling as art sometimes, I think one of the people of best conveying wrestling as an art is Darby Allin. His character matches, his promos, matches his wrestling style. Everything is seamless and go together. The idea that he would get your coffin tattooed on him, I mean, that's Darby. It's like, it might come off cheesy with someone else, right? But Darby, it works. He has made it work. It's like The Undertaker being the wrestling zombie, right? It was like, no, a wrestling zombie shouldn't work. But Undertaker made it work. And I feel like with Darby's character and who he is, that's what he uniquely makes it work. It's like you could cast someone else as what he's doing, and people would be like, this shit is stupid. Get it off my TV. But when Darby does it, he does it with the intensity. He does it with the passion. He does it with the believability that it just works.
Yeah, it really does. And I think it's going to be exciting to see that match on Dynamite this week. We then had Christian Cage versus Matt Hardy, and it was, I believe we've seen this match actually a little while ago, but this was involved with when Christian and Matt Hardy were getting into beef over the Jungle Boy feud, and yeah, I mean, like you knew what you were getting with these guys together. They did a good match. I thought this was a lot of fun as he was Christian Cage was able to get the win after Matt Hardy tried to hit an elbow drop through a table, didn't work, and that's when he was able to get the kill switch to get the win. It was a cool little moment there, and then Christian then was going to hit him with a concerto, and then that's when Jungle Boy jumps into the ring, and then Christian once again runs through the crowd, not wanting to deal with Jungle Boy. And that was when Luchasaurus was coming up the ramp, and that's when Jungle Boy was showed up in the ring. So, yeah, I thought this was good, and yeah, it's more of what you expect from these two guys, two veterans who have done this for so long, and they're just really good at this.
Yeah, Matt Hardy's.
Finding the perfect designer isn't easy, but at Upwork, we found her. She's in Austin, between a dog named Klaus and her favorite shade of green.
It's actually Salem Clover.
And you can find her right now on Upwork.com. When the world is your workforce, finding the perfect project manager, designer, developer, or whomever you may need tends to fall right into place. Find top-rated talent who can start today on Upwork.com.
It's the point in my life that if I never see him wrestle again, I'll be okay. I love Christian. I love this Christian thing. It just felt like anybody else could have, this match could have worked with anyone else. It's like, I don't dislike Matt Hardy. I want to make that clear. It's just, it's just like at some point, you got the shortstop. They can't get down for the grounder anymore. And it's just like we can find a better role for you. And I feel like there's a better role in AEW for Matt Hardy right now.
I mean, yeah, again, it's a weird situation considering the Jeff thing in the room.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I understand what they're doing. I understand why they're using him this way, but I just feel like there's a better role for him. I don't know what it is. I'm not the booker. I'm not TK. I've never done this for a living, but I feel like there's a better role for Matt Hardy.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see where this goes, because now that Jungle Boy's back on TV, I feel like we're gonna probably see him maybe move into a different position, because I don't know what you do with him at this point right now. But moving on from that, Daniel Garcia talking about how he wants to beat Bryan Danielson and slay the Dragon again, since he called himself the Dragon Slayer, is his biggest win against. In AEW history. He says, whenever you're ready to come back from your little injury, I'll slay you again. So Garcia, once again, getting another backstage segment. They've been using him consistently, and you see a lot of belief in Daniel Garcia, and I dig what he's been doing recently. He's been really good, and I'm excited to see what he does after that. But then we had, speaking of Stokely Hathaway from earlier, Ethan Page was screaming about how he deserves better and how, why am I not featured on TV every week? This is bullshit. And then people were cheering for him. He's like, why would you guys cheer? He's like, when my t-shirt goes on sale, you guys aren't buying my shirts. You're getting an Orange Cassidy, a CM Punk shirt. You don't have my back. And every single week I'm not on TV, this company is leaving money on the table. And Stokely is just standing in the ring eventually once he walks out, and he just looks around, like, as Ethan Page turns around and sees him, Stokely's like, what are you doing? And they start screaming, and then Stokely just slowly reaches in his hand, gets his business card, hands it to Ethan Page. Page looks at it and he smiles, and then that's when after he whispers in his ear, he walks out with Stokely Hathaway. I love this little group of people that Stokely is signing. I think it's really cool, and I'm excited to see who else he decides to go for.
I love Ethan Page.
I do too, yeah.
I've said long ago that Ethan Page is money. I said if I started a wrestling company and I wanted a head heel to be my lead person in the company, it would be Ethan Page. I said Impact was like stupid for never putting the world title on Ethan Page, because he has the look. The dude is amazing on the mic. He is great in the ring. He has no weaknesses, but somehow he's not the guy. And I think it's time for him to get elevated in AEW, and I'm hoping this partnership with Stokely is what gets him elevated.
Yeah, I hope so too. We then had the JAS talking about the Chris Jericho match, the Chris Jericho possibly getting his chance at the AEW World Championship again, and then Anna Jay wanted to just scream and just put an AEW crew member in a chokehold, which was pretty funny. So it was just a situation where they just kept that going on. And then we had the tag team dumpster match between the Acclaimed and the Gun Club, and the Gun Club proceeded to walk out, and then they jumped them immediately. And then that's when, after they jumped the Gun Club from the start, that's when they threw their rap on again. And Max Caster says the Bar, "We're going to make you retire like Vince McMahon and send the world in a tizzy." And that was quite funny to see that he did that and got everyone so riled up about it. I thought that was great. And then these two, tons of garbage stuff that they threw at each other from the dumpsters, suplexes onto trash cans, and power and sheets being brought out, and all this types of stuff. Eventually, Austin Gunn was climbed up to the tunnel and was going to jump off it onto a table, but then Max Caster climbs up after Anthony Bowens proceeds to knock Colton out of there. Max Caster proceeds to throw Austin into the dumpster from the top of the entrance gate, and then Bowens puts Colton on the table. Mic drop through the table. They both get put through the dumpster. Close the lid, shut it, and then that's when they decided, we're gonna push this goddamn dumpster off of the fucking stage, full on New Age Outlaw style. Good God, there's people in there. What the hell is so great about that? Took a little while for them to get it lined up, but eventually they pushed it over, and it gave a great effect. They sold it pretty well, I felt like.
Yeah, I'm gonna nitpick. Heels are supposed to do what they did.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's kind of messed up.
But again, people were cheering when the New Age Outlaws did it too, all those years ago.
Yeah, because New York Age Outlaws were heels, though. They were supposed to go too far. The faces were just supposed to win. I don't know.
John Cena literally, we're going to talk about your boy Batista. John Cena literally in his I Quit match with Batista had him on the car. Was going to throw him off of the car with the AA. He says, "I quit." John Cena says, "Fuck it. I have you up here. I'm going to throw you off anyway." That's not a situation where it's
John Cena was the devil, though. He was actually a heel. Most people didn't realize that.
Oh, come on.
I booed him every time he came out.
Sure, I did too. Listen, I did too. But let's not forget that is a thing. And he did the same thing in his I Quit match against JBL. Same thing. He was
a heel to me. John Cena was always the heel. I was always rooting for the other guy. But I get your point in what you're saying. I thought this match was solid. I love how it featured those four. Max has always been good on the mic, and he was a heel, so it was they needed something to turn him face. Here, insert the Gun Club, the Ass Boys. This was the completion of their face turn, and I honestly do think this was a bit of an elevation for the Acclaimed, and I think they'll be heading towards that tag team. I don't know if they're going to win the gold, but I think they're going to be a challenger soon.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think I can agree in that regard too. And then we'll move now to the main event of Dynamite: Chris Jericho versus the ROH Pure Champion Wheeler Yuta. These two did a really fucking good job. Really good main event. Yuta is so fucking good. I dig this shit out of Yuta. I think he's done great stuff. I loved how he just hit German suplexes repeatedly. But when he tried to get the pinfall after he couldn't get the kick out, couldn't get the 3 count, Jericho countered with the walls. And then the fact that Jericho won with the Lion Tamer was awesome. And Jericho literally said, "You unleashed the demon after you won the match." He's like, "You want open Pandora's box. You want Lionheart? You got it. But I'm gonna stretch the shit out of you." Yeah, great main event match. Honestly, they got a ton of time to work with it, and Yuta just really had a lot to work off of this too. And Jericho looked great too. He looked awesome. I thought he did great, and it was great when he was able to get the win. Tries to get the bat, Aubrey yanks it away, and then hits a low blow on Yuta to be able to get the Lion Tamer. So Yuta still looks great, honestly. And again, it's a situation where it's like, yeah, cheat to get the win. Like, you don't have to have clean finishes all the time, even if the ref doesn't see it. Yeah, I thought this was a great main event to this show.
Is it crazy that I like Willa Yuta's matches when he loses more than when he wins?
I mean, I feel like that's just babyface fatigue sometimes, where it's just like, you want to see them suffer.
No, it's just like his matches with Moxley. Oh my God, where he lost? Oh my God. And then his matches with Bryan Danielson when he lost, and now he had his match with Chris Jericho. Like, my favorite Willa Yuta matches are when he loses, because it's just like he gets so close and he looks so fiery, and I'm like, oh my God, this kid's going to be a world champion so soon. And then when he wins, they're all like really good matches, but I don't feel the same. I think he does need a good finisher.
Yuta, yeah. I mean, again, you see all of the BCC continuing doing the hammer and anvil elbows and stuff like that to tie them all together. But they still, yeah, like Claudio has the Ricola bomb, and then Moxley has the paradigm shift or the bulldog choke, and then Danielson has his running knee or the yes lock.
Oh yeah, R.I.P. Judo Gene LaBelle. He passed away tonight.
Oh man.
Yeah, he was eventually. You remember Bryan Danielson's finisher was called the LaBelle Lock.
LaBelle Lock, yes.
And it was after Judo Gene LaBelle. He's also like the judo jiu-jitsu coach for both Ronda Rousey and his mother, if that tells you how long he's doing it. I looked up some stuff today. He's a 10th degree black belt in judo, and a 9th degree black belt in jiu-jitsu.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, well, it was a red belt in judo. Like, literally, you don't get higher than what he accomplished. And interesting fact, as we move back to wrestling, is that his character, if you've ever seen the movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, you know Brad Pitt's character?
Mm-hmm.
That was based off of Judo Gene LaBelle.
Yeah, all right. Damn.
Yeah, I just thought that was an interesting fact, and we talked about Bryan Danielson's finisher. But back to Willa Yuta, this dude is an amazing match machine. You know, like, he's had a hell of a 2022. Like, if you look at his matches against Garcia, Danielson, Mox, now Jericho, is Willa Yuta capable of having a bad match?
I don't think he is.
I mean, it's like the more he wrestles, the more perfect he is for the Blackpool Combat Club. His style is evolving to even be more perfect for the Blackpool Combat Club. He gets the assignment, as they say, and it was a perfect build-up for Jericho versus Mox. You got to see the more vicious side of Jericho, and that brought out Mox, and now we get to Quake at the Lake, Jericho versus Mox. And I will say, I don't see any reason Jericho can't win this match.
Sure. Like, again, yeah, there's absolutely that he could do it. I'm like, again, I don't know. You're going to have to... It's still a toss-up, I feel like, but I think there's still reason to believe that he could win.
You don't have a main event for All Out. We're less than a month away. We don't have a main event. Jericho versus anyone could be a main event. Jericho's still a headliner. He still moves tickets. Mox versus anyone in the main event could work. So we're wide open as far as the card goes. So it's like you get those people who are like, oh yeah, Mox is not gonna lose. I'm like, why not? I mean, Mox isn't supposed to be the champion right now anyway. And like, this is one of those times you like for the first few years you felt like every champion was laid out in AEW.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really feel like that right now. So there you go.
Yeah, there you go. But anyways, that is AEW Dynamite from last week. We'll move over to Rampage, but real quick, we of course weren't able to talk about this because this news came out right after we put last week's show up. Was the fact that this Rampage was talking about the debut of Madison Rayne, who we'll get to her segment, but she was added to coach the women's division along with all the changes to the expansion of talent relations and development teams. So they did a whole bunch of stuff, changed there and everything like that.
It's some people that were already in roles. Their roles were expanded. We got a liaison between the talent and the storyline people or creative in the talent to let them better know when they're going to be used, how they're going to be used, and just so everyone knows their position. It's like a big problem that was being reported when AEW was communication. It looks like every change that was made was for that point, to improve communication. It's like, hey, we're doing all this well, but this is one thing we're clearly bad at. We're clearly weak at. And that's the whole thing. TK listens. He got that fixed. Women's division, they don't feel like they're put in the right position, booked right. Madison Rayne worked in Impact. A lot of people, as far as the best American women's wrestling, it was in Impact. The best storytelling for women is in Impact. So you bring someone from Impact to hopefully bring some much needed variety to the women. That's the word I'm looking for. Variety to the women's division. Different kind of storylines, different type of help them put together the matches. I think Madison Rayne is a much needed addition and a much welcomed addition. I won't say needed, but welcome addition to the AEW roster. I am looking forward to all the changes and hopefully it fixing some things with communication.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought, like I said, that was the big one, honestly, was the fact that Madison Rayne was brought in for women's coaching and also that she'll be an active wrestler. And yeah, the expansion, they addressed it. Yes, communication is a problem. Hopefully these new expansions of these are the roles will stop that from happening. But moving into Rampage, taking place from Grand Rapids, Michigan, we had the AEW Interim World Title Eliminator match opening things up with Mance Warner. Mance Warner is all of a sudden on AEW television going up against the champion Jon Moxley. Gotta say, was not expecting to see Mance Warner. I was just like, oh, really? CZW? We're getting CZW's Mace Warner on here. I was just like, that's fucking crazy.
So how did you see how he got the title shot?
I did not know.
There was a bunkhouse battle royal at Ric Flair's last match.
That's right, there was. Yeah, you know what? Now I remember that. Yeah,
he got the match against Moxley because of it. And Mance Warner is one of those people. I haven't watched a lot of his matches. I never understood his character, and I feel like after Rampage, I do get it. And he cut an amazing promo after his match.
Yeah,
and I actually understand what he's going with.
Yeah, and I thought these two did great. I know there was a lot of jokes going on about Moxley bleeding all the time, and I'm like, he's going up against a former CZW wrestler. What the fuck do you think is gonna happen?
Yeah, it was. I mean, Mox wasn't Mox CZW too?
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah.
So super violent, bloody match. That was on the menu tonight on AEW's wrestling, and you definitely got that. You got you got a perfectly cooked, bloody, violent match with Mox pulling out the win with the bulldog choke, right? Yeah. Yeah, I think that's more of his finisher than the Paradigm Shift now.
I think he likes it way more, honestly, because Paradigm Shift, regardless, is just like it's still like, again, he uses it a ton, but at the same time, though, considering that like it's a better transition, I think, from him doing those elbows.
Yeah, it fits more with the BCC, and it's very violent.
Yeah,
it is very violent. It's just like, if you're in a fight, like the bulldog choke is a move that could be used in a real fight. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, you grab the headlock and you just pull back, and it's just like, if you're using your weight and you have yourself positioned, there ain't a lot the dude could do. So I love it as a move. I love it as this, especially when you have someone bleeding and now they're bleeding out their head. Now you're cutting off the oxygen to their brain. That's a great way to put someone out.
It is, yes. There was a backstage interview with Ricky Starks after he was talk about after he was attacked by Hobbs. However, QT Marshall and the Factory introduces themselves and be like, "Listen, we'll offer you protection so you won't get blindsided." Starks said no, and then just shoved his way past. So QT and his boys are going to fuck with him, I think. So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
And then when you had Konosuke Takeshita going up against Ryan Nemeth, a nice little match for him to be able to get a nice little win before his match against Claudio. So yeah, this was what it was, like Pretty Peter Avalon tried to get involved a little bit. Didn't really go well for him. And yeah, Hollywood Hunk gets pinned by Takeshita. Yeah. I think that was pretty much to say about that.
I mean, it was, hey, like Takeshita is still a violent badass, and Takeshita is, so that's what this match was for.
Exactly. Then Orange Cassidy was interviewed with the Best Friends, and they said that they are best when they're trios, and they suggested competed for those trios championships. Hell yes. Love it. And then Madison Rayne had her first match in AEW against Layla Gray. And yeah, I think she did great. I thought she had a lot of work that she did against Layla that went really well. And after the match was over, Jade Cargill comes out and says how it's hard to find good help these days. I should have handled you myself. He's like, I'm big on charity. I have an open challenge on Dynamite. So, Madison, I would love for you to show up and then get your ass beat. And then, you know what? Take a couple days off after that. Kiera Hogan then tries to sneak into ambush her. Doesn't go well. She gets cross-rained. And, yeah, Madison Rayne versus Jade Cargill. That would be a fun match.
So I don't watch Impact Wrestling a lot. So she hit the move, and it was called the cross-rained. And I was like, I felt some kind of way. I got to be real. I didn't know that was called that.
That was a thing. Yeah.
It's like, why? Why is this happening?
The Cody-shaped hole in your heart is screaming.
Yeah, I was like, why is this happening? I'm offended. Let me speak to your manager, because you need to call that move something else, or actually just stop doing it. Do something else.
Okay.
I'm just saying. I'm giving my real honest reaction to this, because it's Friday night or Saturday morning. Because I watched this Saturday morning because I'm in my hotel room and I'm watching it and I'm like, cross what? Has she always done this? I'm asking people. I'm messaging people like, why is this happening?
What the fuck?
Why is this happening? TK, we need to talk.
Yeah, I'm gonna call you.
I'm pretty sure she's been using it for a while. That's been her finisher. But was it called the cross rain? That's what I'm like. That's what it always been called. I don't like it.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. Hey, I don't like it. I ain't gotta like everything. I don't like this. So
okay,
I'm gonna get a special pleasure out of Jade Cargill putting her foot in Madison Rayne's face on Wednesday. I'm just saying.
All right, fine, fair enough. But regardless, we moved into the main event of Rampage, which was the Friday night street fight between the AEW World Tag Team Champions Swerve in Our Glory versus Josh Woods and Tony Nese. It was a street fight, gave this match a little bit more of stuff that it could do. I loved how they had just a pile of chairs and Swerve just wanted to just backdrop Tony Nese onto that and then get his double foot stomp. And yeah, I thought Keith Lee grabbing Woods and just proceeding to move him out of the way of the table was great. And Keith Lee took Mark Sterling and threw him through the table, which I thought was great. But yeah, I mean, I thought this was a solid main event of Rampage with some street fight elements to give it a little bit more leeway because, like I said, I did not care about Josh Woods and Tony Nese challenging going up against the tag team champions. The street fight gave it a little bit more where I was like, all right, well, let's see what happens. But yeah, hopefully I can see Swerve and Keith Lee have a title defense that has a little bit more leverage to it, or a little bit more levity to it, because I would like to see them get into a big tag team feud. That would be a lot of fun.
Yes. This match was very physical. Woods hitting the German through the table. Impressive.
That was really cool, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, is he dead? Because he just took a 300 and something pound man, and you can kind of say he Germaned him, but basically Keith Lee just landed on his head.
Yeah.
And went through the table. I mean, I was like, is he okay? I was concerned, because Keith Lee is not a small guy.
He's not.
I've stood next to Keith Lee, and I have felt small. Do you know how many people actually make me feel that way in life? Not many. So
yeah,
he's like, we pretty much weigh the same, but he is like solid muscle. So it's just like, oh, I could just imagine someone landing on someone's head. Now that brick landing on someone's head, that was great. But the match ended the only way it could. Swerve putting the double feet through Tony Nese to get the pin. I really enjoyed this match. Get him out the way. Let's get a real challenger in there, as Keith Lee said before the match started.
Yes, please. I need that very much, very badly. But that was AEW Rampage, so we'll go really quickly into Battle of the Belts. We opened with the TNT Championship between Wardlow and Jay Lethal, and this was solid. I thought this was a solid TNT Championship match. Lethal had a bunch of good stuff here, like trying to constantly avoid the Powerbomb Symphony and just doing everything in his power to get away from it, and also trying to get Wardlow's left knee worked at a bunch. Wardlow was throwing Lethal around for a good bit, and like I said, he did a good job of he was like, oh, my knee, and then played possum, and then was able to get Wardlow outside the ring where he could hit him with a tope suicida. Regardless, though, as Lethal got headbutted viciously after he tried to go for the lethal injection, he then got powerbombed and pinned. Sanjay Dutt then goes after Wardlow after the match. Satnam Singh comes in, puts his foot onto the chest of Wardlow. Wardlow's trying to lift it up, and he's got it up a little bit, but then Jay Lethal gets involved and then puts him in the figure four while Satnam has his boot back on him, and then regardless, he tries again and even tries to go for a powerbomb on Satnam Singh. Not going to happen, though. And when that ends up happening eventually, it's going to be crazy. But yeah, no, so Lethal gets a little bit of revenge after losing the match. And yeah, I thought this was a good way to open up Battle of the Belts, honestly.
One problem with this match.
Go ahead.
No Powerbomb Symphony.
That was the one little bit of a bummer. You only got the one.
No, because it makes your challenger look weak. Every other person needs at least 3. You only give him 1? Come on. Jay Lethal deserved 3.
All right, fair enough.
For his respect, he deserved 3. Powerbomb him 3 times. Honestly, a regular powerbomb as your finisher is kind of boring. The Powerbomb Symphony is cool.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. It's like, give him the symphony. Maybe, hey, Jay Lethal might be cussing at me right now. Hey, dude, I only want to take 1 powerbomb.
I would like to just have it be the one.
Yeah, I'm almost 40. I don't want to just be getting slammed on the ground multiple times. But Jay, you deserve 3 powerbombs.
Take that as a positive or a negative, however you wish.
Yes, you deserve 3 powerbombs. And after the match, cool. I love them just putting his foot on Wardlow's chest, and you see Wardlow lifting up the foot.
Yup.
And he's showing how powerful he is. All the Wardlow maniacs are out there lifting up the foot, and then Jay Lethal
felt very old school. Yes.
Yes, it felt like an old school moment. And then he just puts his foot on him while Jay Lethal puts him in the figure 4. I just Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, and Satnam Singh are a perfect heel group. They really are. And I'm looking forward to Satnam Singh because all this work he's doing. You can just imagine the work he's doing before shows at the training facilities to get better. It's like when you're that big, you don't got to do a lot. So
You don't.
I am looking forward to it because, I mean, this has to be leading to Wardlow versus Satnam Singh. I'm thinking it might happen at All Out. And
I would think, yeah.
Yeah. And just know, Satnam Singh, take this negatively or positively. You deserve at least 3 powerbombs.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
We moved over to the AEW Women's World Championship match between Thunder Rosa and Jamie Hayter, Britt Baker and Rebel at ringside. There is a point where fucking Jamie Hayter was, I think it was Thunder Rosa who proceeded to run from the ropes and then dive through the bottom rope and middle rope and drop kick Jamie Hayter through the fucking ropes, and I was like, holy fucking shit, that looked like it hurt. It looked like that was nearly killed her. These two did a good job. I felt like Britt Baker tried to interfere when the ref was turned around. Toni Storm pulled her back and then hit Britt with the DDT. Thunder Rosa then proceeded to pull Jamie Hayter up in a cradle, gets the win by small package cradle, and Jamie Hayter cannot get the win. Thunder Rosa retains. I thought this was a really good match too. Like I said, the fucking drop kick through the floor, through the ropes was like, oh my god, that looked like it fucking hurt. But yeah, no, I thought there was a lot of good stuff in this match. Jamie Hayter really looked good here. I liked how Britt Baker was on the outside really supporting Jamie. I thought this was a good match.
Very good match. Jamie is, the perfect, hey, you got to fight this person to get to Britt kind of thing. Even though Britt is not even the champion, it just still feels like everything's a warm-up to Britt. So I just thought, and I think Jamie's just super talented, and she's super physical. I saw a lot of people online wanting her in the Blackpool Combat Club, and, her wrestling style, it wouldn't be altogether out of place in that group. So I really did enjoy this match. I think she, more than anybody, wrestles a style that makes Thunder look better.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah. No, and Thunder looked really good in this match too. I will say too, to go off of that. Yeah.
Yeah, it just fits into because she's so straightforward, because she's so violent, that fits into Thunder Rosa's style. It's not overly athletic. It's just coming at you first and forward. Some of our matches with Serena Deeb. I mean, it makes Thunder Rosa look good. I feel like Jamie Hayter fits right into that. Very physical, very stug type match. It's is this a fight? And that's where I think when Thunder excels the best.
Yeah, absolutely. I will agree on that too. And then we go to the main event of Battle of the Belts 3, the ROH World Championship match between Claudio Castagnoli and Konosuke Takeshita. I love this match. I thought this was great. I love how they pushed how Konosuke Takeshita had an El Generico-esque dive onto Claudio Castagnoli. They were really pushing that, and how those two had a feud going into Ring of Honor and stuff like that. Loved how these two just really worked each other. Claudio got the giant swing. Crowd went crazy for it. Konosuke Takeshita, another El Generico-esque move with the blue Thunder Bomb. And they were just ripping each other apart in this match. When fucking Konosuke Takeshita proceeds to get out of the Ricola Bomb and hit a Hurricanrana, and then there was a great moment where fucking he dives at Claudio, but he gets him out of the air and just proceeds to hit, throw him with the I think it was a Death Valley driver, and yeah, just caught him in fucking mid-air with that. I was like, oh my god, that's nuts. And then Ricola Bomb was able to be hit, and Takeshita not able to get the win, but regardless, awesome match. Loved this match. I thought it was great. This was huge. I thought this was just really good stuff. And Konosuke, again, outstanding. Hope he gets more usage too after this, because he looks amazing every time I see him. And Claudio as ROH champion, already proving dividends. Love it so much.
The amount Takeshita has gotten over in losing, when he finally gets his winning run, the crowd and places are gonna go crazy. This was a great match again. He looks amazing in a loss. This is the best match in Battle of the Belts history. Battle of the Belts long history. This was the best match in Battle, bar none. Not even close. Cesaro, just showing what Cesaro has shown forever. What everybody has seen in him. He's one of the best wrestlers in the world. Takeshita, really good, really good. Probably one of the better wrestlers in the world too. And they go out there and they put on a classic. And it's like, oh, did they need like tables or anything? No, they put on a classic in the ring, fighting each other. It was great.
Yeah, loved it so much. But that closes off Battle of the Belts and this wild week of AEW. We'll real quickly give our preview for Quake by the Lake. FTR will be in action. Your boys are coming back. We're going to have a tornado tag match between the Lucha Brothers and Andrade and Roosh. They're going to get the coffin match between Brody King and Darby Allin. Jade Cargill and Madison Rayne will be facing off against each other in a women's tag match. Who was their partners, ma'am?
I said tag. That was supposed to be title.
Women's title match. Okay, yeah, I was going to say, what?
TNT
TBS title match, yes.
Or TBS, sorry. Somebody's like, when you see I did see a post that made me laugh. They said, when you see the TBS title, what person do you think of? And I'm like,
the one person who's hold it?
The champion, yeah. And then, of course, Mox and Jericho in an AEW Interim World title match.
Mox and Jericho 2.
Yeah, 2. Mox and Jericho 2, the rematch. Honestly, the one thing that I got the feeling on is I feel like Roosh and Andrade have to win their match.
Yeah.
I just think if you're trying to build them as a duo that has any power, they can't lose this match. They have to win.
Yeah.
And maybe they get a new member. Maybe. Because I just feel like it's almost set up for them to introduce a new member during the match. You know what I mean?
Right.
Tag, no rules. I was thinking today, I was just like, of course, Dragon Lee. There's a lot of things you can do with it. So I'm definitely interested to see what happens in this match. It's going to be a banger. I'm predicting either that match or Darby and Brody to start the show. And I did leave one match out of there because I don't know if it's on Rampage or actual Quake at the Lake Dynamite, because they did announce Ricky Starks versus Aaron Solo. But I don't know if it's on Rampage or Dynamite, so I just wanted to throw that out there in case it's on Dynamite. And I think, of course, it's like, Ricky Starks is going to win that match. I mean, you lose Aaron Solo, you might as well just, quit. But yeah, the 5 matches, I am like, other than FTR in action, because we don't know who they're wrestling, this is basically a pay-per-view on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, some other places have been doing really good shows, but Dynamite's the best wrestling television show in the world right now. It's not even close. It's just not even close. A bad episode, like a quote-unquote bad episode that I didn't like, is better than what I would see on TV any other time of the week. That's the best way to say I'm highlighting AEW and not trying to put down anyone else.
Yes.
The average episode of AEW Dynamite is better than anything else on TV during the week.
There you go.
And
but that, I think, will do it for this episode of All Things Elite. Thank you guys so much for sticking with us and getting into this show and listening every single week. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this podcast. Make sure you download this show on Apple or Google Podcasts. It really does mean a lot. And, of course, if you listen to us on Spotify or wherever you listen to us, give us a share with whoever you wish. It really means the world. Friends, family, coworkers, anybody you wish. You can leave a rating, you can leave a review, let us know how we're doing, or you can follow us on Twitter. We are at AT Elite Pod on Twitter, at Social Suplex for the guys that make this show possible. Check out all the other shows they have on their network. I am at Austin Sumowicz, SZUMOWICZ. Floyd is at Floyd Johnson Jr. on Twitter. I will say real quick, big rest in peace to Olivia Newton-John. Legendary. Love her to pieces. She will be missed for sure. And I will go ahead and pass it off to Floyd for him to take us home on this episode of All Things Elite.
So this episode is releasing on August 10th. So you have till noon on August 10th to order the FTR jacket. If you want to look cool like your boy Floyd, order the FTR jacket. And if you don't order the FTR jacket, and you can't look cool like me, you know what I'm saying? No, but buy FTR stuff. That's just a personal thing from Floyd. That is not, those thoughts do not represent the whole staff at All Things Elite. It's just me telling you to buy FTR stuff. No, but I hope all of you, thank you again for listening every week, putting up with me and my loudness, and Austin being there to reel me in. It's been a great week. I can honestly say I'm just feeling really good. I feel like really good, and Austin's doing his thing in his world with his job, and I just think we're both in a really good place right now. So we want to pass that energy off to all the people that listen to the show, all the fans of this show, all the people that donate a little bit of their time every week to listen to us talk about wrestling. We want to send you all the positive vibes, all the positive mental energy, and we're going to leave you like we always leave you. Whether it is home, work, or school, always do your best to be elite.
Finding the perfect project manager isn't easy. But at Upwork, we found him. He's in Adelaide. Between his color-coordinated sticky note collection and the cutest boxed lunch we have ever seen. And you can find him right now on Upwork.com. When the world is your workforce, finding the perfect project manager, designer, developer, or whomever you may need tends to fall right into place. Find top-rated talent who can start today on Upwork.com.